Traders, what's going on, guys? Cleveland Bishop here. Hope you guys have been good for the past week and a half, almost 2 weeks since we actually cranked out on the inflation video, right? We actually been moving in to our new office, and it's been taking up a lot of time. I was in Miami for the past 3 or 4 days, went out for my cousin's graduation, so I've been incognito, okay? So I should have gave you guys an update. Sorry about that. But the new office, it's amazing, all right? It's progressing really well. We can actually start now holding events here. The other office, again, is a little bit too cramped, and so this is gonna give us a lot more capabilities, all right? But last time I let off, what we were actually talking about, again, was inflation. And it's been 2 weeks, and folks, I think we saw it. I said this in our inflation is here video. That was on a Sunday. Literally that next Monday, the market sold off 100 pips, and then subsequently after that has then sold off another 400 pips. We were up there at the $1.22s during when I said this right here. Check this out. And relative to past structures, we haven't seen the dollar this tight in terms of a consolidation in a really long time. And the way markets function, when ranges this tight start to exist, you have very explosive moves out of them, okay? So we still see some upside potential on the dollar. I think on the dollar index, we could see this thing go to the 93s. On the euro, here's a quick screenshot of the euro on a weekly. You guys can see that the $1.20s is a place that we could easily run to. Let's see what we get, right? So again, we definitely got our sell side move, okay? Now where a market's gonna go at this point, we've sold off back down to the $1.20s. I'm gonna go into the charts real quick. We just got a retail sales number that came out negative, yet we still just saw the dollar rally a bit. So that's interesting. Actually just hit all-time highs for the year, okay? So folks, I want you guys to stick with me. Make sure that you are subscribed. All the new members, hello, nice to meet you. I'm gonna be here from now on, I promise. And make sure you like the video for your boy. If you wanna like this one, I understand. All right, we'll just let this one go. And but the next one, make sure you like tomorrow's video, okay? Guys, let's go into the charts real quick. I wanna show you guys some retail sales numbers. I wanna show you guys what we're looking for on the GBP USD, if we can hold in this structure here, pretty interesting. And we're actually looking for something on the GBP JPY as well. Let's head over into the charts. Happy I'm back, good to see you guys. Let's head over into the charts. All right, guys, let's take a look at here in these charts. If you guys take a look, we were looking at this euro pushing down to $1.20, and you guys can see that we're sitting at 18.25, right? So we're literally at the lowest point the dollar's been at all year long, and this is a pretty big deal, So again, we're looking at markets pushing around the $1.20 number, sitting right now at the 18.25. So if you guys can see that we did just push over here into this middle of this consolidation. If I pull out and I show you guys the weekly perspective, you guys will notice from the weekly perspective, from the low to the high, that we're sitting right at well, a little bit underneath that 23.6, right? So the $1.20, which was the original target, was again right at the 23.6. We had a lot of folks in the community execute on that sell side move. It actually went really well. Some folks are even able to ride it back down into the $1.19s, but there was a lot of volatility at the end of the week last week, which stopped a few of the folks out for profit, right? These two massive up days. This was around the 150 pip up move from the 1830s all the way up into the $1.20, so 180 point up move. So outside of that though, earlier this week, folks, we really were looking for markets to potentially maintain this area here, really this entire consolidation and push back up into itself. But it seems like this momentum is going to keep riding out. We had retail sales earlier today. The expected was 0.5, but we ended up getting 0.3. So that's pretty interesting. Yet we saw markets spill over. Now, the interpretation that I have of why that was the case was we've seen an inflationary story that has been playing out, which is really why this market is sold off so dramatically. And if inflation's happening, right, you're going to start to see consumer prices increasing, and with the consumer prices increasing, you're potentially going to start to see retail sales slow down, okay? And so that retail sales number that just came out is somewhat it correlates well with why we're seeing the inflationary story being told, right? So pretty interesting. What are we going to see? If we pull over and go to the monthly time frame here, you guys will notice that we still have a little bit of room left to run down to the 38.2. It's potential. It could happen. It really could happen. We do have a few Fed members speaking this week, and those Fed members potentially could drive this market as a catalyst sell side. All right. Well, they're probably going to be talking about what's happening on the retail sales side, and that can give us a little bit of an inkling, but we'll just have to really wait and see. So if we pull over here and look at the Aussie dollar, the Aussie was something I was mentioning as well. Aussie's somewhat stuck up, but if you guys can notice, again, it's still hanging around here in this low of this consolidation. So that's pretty interesting. All right, so what I'm expecting for this, again, I'm just going to really let it play out. I really want to see what the U.S. dollar does. We do have a lot of data out for Aussie this week, and there's going to be some policy meetings as well. So maybe we'll see a push up into structure if Aussie brings back some strength. I want to show you guys real quick this pound Aussie. If I show you guys the pound Aussie, you guys will see that the pound Aussie is currently rejecting this price point that we ran down into, the 79.40. It's pretty easily predictable price point to see markets turn around a bit. Are we going to get that continuation higher? If Aussie doesn't perform well, then we are. We're going to get that push up into structure. Now, also, the pound has not been doing so hot either, okay? And so if the pound doesn't perform well, then we'll see this market turn over. But if I was to show you guys all the pound crosses, you would see it. But we're going to be having a webinar tonight, and anybody in the community, you guys will be there. So make sure you guys click the link in the bio, and you guys will be able to get directed over into our trading room, get into a rookie course, and kind of see out exactly how we assess these markets. And sometimes you can keep track with what we got going on. Want to head over and want to finally just talk about the USD CAD again, just pushing this out here real quick. We'll get something a little bit more serious tomorrow. Wanted to show you guys where we're at on this UCAD, right? So UCAD, pretty interestingly enough, is fairly consolidated right now at the $1.2870s. Pretty interesting. What do I expect? I would have loved to see this UCAD actually push sell side dramatically, but notice we broke the high before we broke the low, and that always confuses you when you break the high first here and then you break the low, and now we're back in consolidation. The whole structure just reformatted. So we're gonna have to let this bad boy play out. This is what we're looking like on the weekly time frame, and on this weekly structure, you guys can really see how, man, we are pretty tied up here, okay? So overall, you can see the larger structure where we're holding the $1.29s, okay? If you guys can see this area here all the way over, you guys will see that is pretty well structured. And the low really is the $1.27. So we can coin it as a 200-point range. If you're looking to catch some sell side pressure because of US dollar strength, hey, you're actually catching at a good point, because if you get any kind of rejection right here, you could definitely have this market sell off back down into itself, all the way potentially down to the $1.26s. You might get caught up here at the $1.27s. All right, so folks, we're going to be checking out these markets, keep assessing them. CAD has some pretty big data coming out on Friday, and obviously we have oil numbers coming out as well. Let's see what we get. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Profit, always my motive. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.